Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, we're going to talk about healthy detachment to make an avoidant feel more comfortable initiating, chasing, and committing. This is not the same as unhealthy detachment, which is like playing games or trying to be unavailable to get your partner's attention. Because the reason why this is different is because doing those behaviors, unhealthy type of detachment, you're not actually healing. And your partner's not going to react in the way that you want them to because you're just playing some sort of game. And while they may react initially, eventually what's going to happen is they're going to pull away even more, and obviously you don't want that. And so we're talking about healthy detachment, which is actually you calming your own nervous system, perspective, your activation strategies to kind of allow your partner to not deactivate as often, which is why you're going to start seeing them chase and commit more often. And so the very first one, which is something I notice very common when I'm practicing with couples, is it makes your partner feel more safe to connect and commit to you when you remove yourself from the need of their constant reassurance. Reassurance is fine. Constant reassurance is an issue. Now, of course, constant can be debatable depending on so many factors. I'm not going to debate what that frequency is. I really just don't want to. But what happens is I see a lot of folks have this, they need a stream of reassurance. That's what it looks like on the outside, right? Sometimes you need texting, a certain amount of time a day. I get that. But you also maybe need phone calls. You need some sort of connection all the time because you're using your partner to kind of calm your own feeling, right? Maybe you're overwhelmed by something. And at that, whatever it is, maybe your tire, you have a nail in your tire and you're trying to fill it and then it keeps running flat. So you got to go to the tire shop and then you got to wait. And it's just a very frustrating situation. Anyone would be frustrated by that. But what you do is during that time, that's when you send like a fire level of text, like so many paragraphs of text to your boyfriend or husband, wife or girlfriend or whoever that person is, right? Because you're kind of uncomfortable and dysregulated with this feeling. And you're looking for reassurance to calm yourself down because in your mind, uncertainty equals abandonment. And then any sort of certainty means that everything's going to be okay. And so you end up using your partner to make yourself feel like everything's going to be okay. And so what I tend to tell a lot of patients is a good rule of thumb if you are someone who struggles with this. Usually it's going to be anxious or fearful avoidants that lean anxious. Secure people don't tend to do this, okay? And avoidants don't do this either. Typically, what I say is any sort of specific routine, what you text your partner, good morning or good night or whatever it is, or like when you get off work, those types of things you should always communicate, typically, especially if you're in a long-term relationship. If you're married, these types of things can be if you need sometimes it can be, hey, I'm going to bed for the night, even if maybe your partner works different shifts, right? If you do the morning, they do the night shift, just telling them, hey, good night, or I'm going to bed, whatever it may be, right? Something along those lines. But there still should be some specific communication with partners. However, other than that, I typically suggest only having communication when you specifically need to talk about something. And so this could be, let's say we have this story of this person who got the flat tire, the nail in their tire, whatever that story I was talking about earlier. Tell them, hey, I got a flat tire. It's a little frustrating. I'm just letting you know I'm at the car shop now. I just wanted to open up about that. You can say that. That's communication, but you don't need to always continuously have that line of communication or always have conversations that lead, through different days, whatever some people do, right? You just want to have some moments where you don't have communication with them, whether it be a couple hours, whether it be 2 hours, whether it be 6 hours, I don't know. But you want to have a moment where you can actually be more comfortable with yourself and also regulate yourself without that constant need of reassurance, okay? The next one is you want to express yourself clearly and kindly once and then let it sit for a while. And what I mean by that is specifically if your partner does something that annoys you. And every person who's in a relationship knows how annoying your partner can be. If you are not annoyed by your partner, you will be, because that's going to be guaranteed, I promise you. And so anything that bothers you, hey, I don't like that you use the bathroom with the door open. That can be something. And you state it clearly. And you let that sit for a while before repeating it again. Bring it up in a couple months if it bothers you, or you process if this is something worth fighting over. You can keep it on the back burner. Something even more serious could be maybe not the bathroom door open, even though it's very annoying. Maybe you could say, I don't like that you leave me on red so often. Sometimes I don't know what's going on. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with that. And maybe that really is how you feel, especially people who are anxiously attached. That stuff bothers you guys, and that's okay. And you're saying, I hope that you can stop doing that. That's a very normal request, okay? So you let that sit, let them do it. And then after a couple months, if they haven't, you bring that up, okay? The next one is, this is more for fearful avoidance, okay? And I think that this is helpful because I notice this is part of why some of you guys get caught in the negative thoughts, okay? There is a part of you that knows your partner cares about you, but you deny it or you battle it because you're afraid of being wrong or blindsided. A lot of y'all think that doing this protects you from that happening. It just makes it worse. It's harder for your partner to gain trust, or you're always angry or irritated at them because you have these negative thoughts about them. So what actually can help is you lean into those beliefs and you learn the outcomes and learn to trust yourself. It builds your confidence, okay? The next one is don't take their triggers seriously. I'm telling you that this is not healthy and it's not going to benefit your relationship. I used to be someone who was avoidant and I got triggered all the time, and I still get triggered every now and again. And I am telling you, it's not always you. A lot of times it's them. And if you make it yourself, you're going to make yourself honestly crazy trying to take responsibility for something you didn't do. And then a lot of times what you guys do is when it is you, for some reason you don't take that. You take like other things. And I'm going to give an example. If your partner says that you're clingy or needy, they probably mean it. Maybe it's really exaggerated, but there is something that you're doing that makes them say that. Avoidants don't say that to every person. I'm telling you. There's probably something you're doing that's maybe a little bit needy or clingy. Ask them what it is that you guys can work it out together. But if they are just, quiet and they need some time alone and they're saying it's not you, I just need space, now you're taking it personally. They told you it's not you, they need space, you're taking it personally. But when they told you you were needy, you didn't take that personally. You said that was because they're an avoidant. You have to, a lot of you guys do that. And I think the reason why is because it hurts to take to take it for what it really is. And so you kind of deny it to some extent. But I would suggest that you try to, avoid doing that and observe those patterns within the relationship, because a lot of times this in of itself creates so much misconception. Relationships with whatever attachment styles is very challenging. Two different attachment styles, if you guys are doing things like this, it just doesn't help. So try and think about that. Don't take triggers personally. And when they say something clearly and they're calm about it, take that and actually interpret that properly. The next one is assess them fairly and more logically. I'm going to give an example of just a random assessment. This is a made-up person, but it might actually help you guys understand what I mean. So let's say, for example, we have this dismissive avoidant male. Okay. He answers his texts on time. Okay. He doesn't cancel. He's aware maybe he knows he struggles with compromise and commitment issues. So he doesn't know he has an attachment issue, but he knows something. Okay. That's pretty good. He's very stubborn. Clearly, right? We just talked about that a little bit. You feel pressured not to trigger him. You feel sometimes like you're walking on eggshells. Okay. That's not so great. Okay. You get frustrated because he communicates very logically instead of romantically. And you feel like there's like barely any romance. And in the bedroom, he only wants it when he wants to. And I've made some videos on that a little bit because he feels like it's pressure. And so you feel like you can't ask for it. And if you do, he might pull away. And it seems like very controlling and uncomfortable, right? And then maybe in the bedroom, it's not very romantic. It's very mechanical. So you feel uncomfortable with that. He takes a really long time to make a decision. And usually he makes that decision and the relationship does move forward. But it usually takes like 2 to 4 times longer, okay? So maybe you wanted to move in year 2. He took until year 4. But he still did it. So he does lean towards commitment, but it just takes longer. And you notice he's very controlling with his space and his stuff. He's a workaholic and he also drinks. You don't think he drinks that often, but you're worried that maybe one day it'll become something, so you're keeping tabs on it, okay? So he's also very loyal. He is very open about his feelings. He never lies to you, and he never leaves you hanging. He answers all your questions, and he's honest with you in general, even if it hurts. And he doesn't hide you from anybody. He doesn't hide you from his parents or social media. And he confirms with you that you're the only person that he wants, that he's with, whatever it is. Okay, so this is this person. We logically assessed him, good and bad. Doing that in your relationship helps you to know what it really is. Because a lot of people, what they do is they take the negative stuff and they stick on it and they avoid the positives. And so what happens with a lot of couples is, let's say this dismissive avoidant, he really feels like he's doing everything. He's not perfect, clearly. And he's like, you know what? My anxious, preoccupied partner, let's say it's a female, she doesn't see all my efforts and he dumps her. right? Or maybe you activate and you get mad and then you dump him, whatever this story is, okay? And later you start thinking, oh wait, he's not that bad of a guy. I wish I didn't do that. This kind of stops those things, that ultimatum power struggle type of issue. You start seeing them for who they really are and you're able to assess it. We talked about he might have a drinking issue. He might. That's something to really assess, not just for yourself, but if you want kids with him and he has a drinking issue, is that going to make an issue with you actually getting pregnant? Is that part of the reason why he has maybe issues in the bedroom because he's drinking? What's going on? Because you don't want that. Is that going to be the father of your children? Is that going to affect things, right? You want to assess things in a logical way, who he really is, because he does sound like he cares about you, but he has a lot of things to work on, right? And so that's kind of the way it is. And the next one is you don't want to hyperfixate on their moods. A lot of times people, this is a little different than triggers, okay? A lot of avoidants tend to be quite moody people. I'm the type of person that I'm not a very happy-go-lucky person, obviously. I think you guys know that. I'm pretty flat emotionally. However, if I'm stressed or if I'm annoyed, you can tell. I've noticed this because everybody tells me. You can just tell. I'm very short. I don't want to talk on the phone, whatever it is. And so, it's challenging because I don't know how obvious it is. And so people, for me, especially when I was a lot more avoidant, now I'm pretty much not that way, but I still have those traits. People take my moods very personally because they think that it's because of something they've done. So for example, let's say I just got off a long flight. Most people want to be called or text or whatever when I got off the flight or whatever that is, right? But for me, it's I don't want to call 20 people and say that I'm safe. I want to go to my car in the parking deck and I want to drive. And then when I'm out of the airport area and I know, okay, I'm on my, I'm heading home, then I'm okay with calling or texting or whatever. But usually I have a lag time, I need to. And then usually people know the time the flight is, right? So let's say I'm flying from where I live to Florida. It's an hour and a half. Because that's where I was for Christmas. And I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but I'm recording this after Christmas. So obviously you're going to get it after Christmas. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm very tired. But whatever it is, I don't like people texting me, but right after I get the flight. But people know that I got off, so I'm getting these texts. Are you okay? Did you make it? Whatever it is. And I am, and I want to answer. And then if I don't answer, people are oh my God, she died or something. Or now it makes them call multiple times. So that I feel is hyperfixating on my mood, because some people are are you mad? What's going on? Are you upset? Is there something you're not telling me? Whatever it is. And it's just most people should know that I'm a one-track minded person. Some people are amazing. They can multitask. I can't. I'm doing one thing. I have to do that one thing and just let me do it. And then afterwards, I will return the call. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of avoidants actually are like that. And so it's not you. They're not avoiding you. It has nothing to do with you. I promise you, it has literally nothing to do with you. They're just having a mood. I have mine. And so that was a long-winded way of saying, please don't hyperfixate on their moods. When they're out of their mood or when they're done with whatever task they need to do, they will be there for you. I promise. If they are a good person and they care about you, they will. Just because they're an avoidant doesn't mean that they don't love you or they don't care about you. They just have a weird system that you can't always understand, and that's okay, okay? So let's summarize, and then we'll wrap this up, okay? Remove yourself from the need of constant reassurance. Express your needs clearly and kindly once, and then let it sit for a while. Be more comfortable with the positive parts of your partner and don't deny it because you're afraid to be wrong or blindsided. Don't take their triggers personally, assess them fairly and logically, and don't hyperfixate on their moods. I hope this video was helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.